You're listening to Music Tectonics.
Welcome back to Music Tectonics, where we go beneath the surface of music and tech. I'm your host, Dmitry Vitsa. I'm the founder and CEO of Rock, Paper, Scissors. We're a PR firm that specializes in music technology. And we are focused right now on what everyone in the music space can do right now while we're all at home, self-isolating, working from home, making music from home, performing from home. So you'll hear lots of episodes right now. We're putting out way more than one a week right now about things like live streaming, remote collaboration, making music in ways and spaces that you're not used to. And so I'm really excited today because I have the CEO and founder of Pibox, Ivan Talaychuk, with me. Ivan, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, I'm currently in Kiev with our developers and team. We are both in Helsinki and in Kiev, like spread it between different countries. But here is a little bit locked down, and that's why I'm there for more time than needed.
Yes, everyone's stuck somewhere right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of relevant to the audience and the conversation, and it's kind of relevant to what you do with Pibox. Why don't you start off just by telling us about what Pibox is?
Pibox is a collaboration solution for music producers and music production teams. It helps to cut timing on when you review music, on discussions, on understanding where track need to go, on collaboration, on chat, and on file sharing also. So it's like sort of all-in-one solution where you can organize all your music collaboration online work.
When did you guys get started?
It's actually near 2 years ago. We started with the music industry, and we see how it perform there, and it's now it's like something that are closer to B2B. Before it was like solution for music engineers and producers. Now we have a lot of feedback, and it's more like for teams now, something like this.
Interesting. Well, we will get into that, but why did you start Pibox?
Why? It was I was collaborating with my another partner. We was actually in one city but in different regions, and was using like Gmail to send tracks. We also was uploading tracks to solutions like Dropbox or others. We're communicating on WhatsApp, and it's become really messy where tracks are, what was the last feedback, what was the last version, where it is, where the original files are, and it's all the time lost thing. And like creative process really was not super well. And I decided with our team, I have IT friends, and we decided to make a simple solution for musicians to collaborate, and then it started like developing after it more and more.
So were you creating music as an artist or as a composer for film or production libraries?
Yeah, more like we are a band of two, so we are like multi-instrumentalists. We can make all the arrangement with ourselves, with my friend Dmitry, and we started together, and we just sent each other the tracks and discussions, and it was really mess, you know.
I gotcha. Yeah. So who's your most common user? I think you were kind of hinting that you started in one place, but you moved into more of a B2B type user.
Yeah, it's because we're a startup and we want to grow faster, and you need a literally really large budgets to cover the every musician or hobby player, right? So our common user now is more like manager who manage music production or small production team. And also like mixing engineers, and yeah, of course bands are buying our solutions now, especially because it's like they are everyone at home. But the main our focus of our team now is the teams, small teams and large teams who produce music and discuss, collaborate and are around it.
Right. And I noticed from your website that you have some production houses that are with major labels. You have folks that are in production libraries that are probably involved with more like film and TV. Is that right?
Yeah, and universities also we have some, because they like how they can scale their communication with students.
Oh, interesting. That makes a lot of sense. I guess they can get student assignments submitted and be able to comment, or students can collaborate, and then the teacher can go and review what the conversation was and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's faster and more efficient and more even more entertaining how they do it. like to explain things on the waveform.
Right. Let's talk about that because the workflow for remote collaboration using Pibox is very unique. Obviously, you've built it for the ground up as an artist. Let's just talk through what are those features. What is the workflow? What's the first thing you do? What's the next thing that happens? How does somebody else get involved?
It's pretty simple. You create collaboration project, like collaboration area, where you have two modes, like chat mode and cloud mode. And you drag and drop file, any type of file we support, but discussions now is on audio files. You drag and drop it, you double press on the file, and you can choose some ranges on the wave or points on the wave, mention someone else. It's like really in a social way to discuss the track. Then you upload, for example, composer upload new version. It will be connected to older one, and you will see notifications, your email, in chat also. And you can discuss right on the track or discuss general in the chat. So you have one place, not need to switch to email or to Slack or to any other tool. So this is the main idea. But also you can switch to mode, the same project, you can switch to files view and organize it as folders, versions, share files with a link. And adding also people to each project by a simple link. So you don't have to teach someone to do new work. So they know messaging tools, they know simple commenting like in SoundCloud, right? And they know how works files like in the file system. So we have all this in one place.
That's okay, so let me just clarify, Ivan. So you mentioned chat mode and cloud mode. So chat mode is kind of like a news feed or a Slack channel type of situation, and cloud mode is more like a folder hierarchy, like what you're used to on your desktop, laptop kind of thing.
Yeah, that's why in this way you have a dynamic, more creative view, but also a structured view.
Right. So you can create a hierarchy around projects, albums, tracks, sections of tracks, or at the same time you can do kind of like a chronology of conversation.
Yes, like a timeline also.
Okay, got it. What else? What else happens in the workflow?
This is the main thing. Also, we have some for larger companies. We have ability to connect for any team. We have like a simple checklist inside the cloud. So in each folder, you have a simple smart checklist that can be like a trigger for if you gather deliverables, for example, or you gather some packs of content, or you want 100% gathered content to be sent to your library or to any other IP integration. Budgeting, some people using also in each folder you can. So it's like a hybrid, like mutant of cloud, chat, and data gathering tool, and of course review, right?
The checklist, is that something that there's a template checklist that somebody uses, or it's a place where you create your custom checklist?
You can create custom checklist, but also save as a template to boost your work. We try to optimize everything. Some teams use their own templates to track the production or to track the deliverables list, for example.
Right. Okay. Let's just break that down a tiny bit more. What are slowly here? What are some specific examples of a few things on the checklist?
For example, you gather like deliverables for pack that need to be connected to your library, for example, or type of different stamps instruments that composer need to deliver, right, to finalize the project. And you don't have to use some task manager tool or manager to keep some notes. You just press, they can drag and drop files right on the checklist lines and press like done, like everything and gather the content. So it's like, this is for this case can be. Some people use it like a structure for, okay, this is stage number 1, stage number 2, stage number 3 mixing. So some people use it for staging. So we are not, you can create all your workflow in Pibox without some restrictions, so it's your way to do things.
Gotcha. So let me ask you, are there any other features that you're especially proud of, something that might be unique to Pibox?
Unique is waveform is really beautiful. Everyone likes the waveform because it's something that it's done professional, but you can work in easy social way. But the unique thing is we are combining all these modules in one place, so you don't have to switch to other tools, and you see the whole picture. The main point is some invisible value also you have, because you're in one place. You see how production is going, what is happening, and like you can do things faster. So this is the secret is in combination maybe also of the things.
Right, right. And don't you also have like a video chat screen share component as well?
It was before. We are redoing it a little bit because like in current demand, people want group, because it was like one-to-one person streaming. Even stereo streaming was there, so studios used it to stream sound from their DAW station like Ableton or Pro Tools, and video also was there, and screen sharing was there. But we need to really boost it with the new new quality, new like group features. And it will be also soon. It's not yet on our website. And maybe other formats will appear, like in months or two will appear video and photo review. So also videos is good for people who work with soundtracks to advertising, for example. So we want to add this, and we are collaborating currently with few companies to deliver this feature. We actually discuss all the features with community and make it together with our customers. This is how we do things. Yeah, we are not imagine something. It was first impulse when I was a music producer that we started it, but after it we use only customer reviews, customer development technology to build the product.
Gotcha. So earlier you mentioned that when we were talking about the live streaming ability, you mentioned being able to live stream from your DAW, from an Ableton or Pro Tools or other DAW. What is the relationship if you are very deeply involved with using a DAW for doing music production? Say, for example, right now with everybody on isolation because of the COVID-19 crisis, they might traditionally sit next to each other with Pro Tools open or with Ableton or something else open. If you're collaborating remotely, what is the interaction between you and your DAW and Pibox?
You say with this feature, because it's now not available. You mean
but not with that feature, but just in general. What?
Yeah, in general, it's like just they have track, they bounced this track, and producers send this track to a collaboration group where managers, people who review music, and they just comment on it, discuss it, and the new version also will be uploaded the same way to us. So it's not something that are connected directly now to Pro Tools, but it's enough for you to drag and drop stuff and streamline it in Pibox. So it's good optimization for all team to see what has happened, but it's not. We don't have yet direct integrations with Pro Tools or Ableton.
Right. And so your production process internally in your home studio or at your professional studio is still the same. You're still using the same setup, but then when you're ready for feedback and interaction, that's where Pibox comes in. It's really like in the past, you uploaded it to Google Drive or Dropbox or WeTransfer, or you sent it as an email attachment. And then all of a sudden there were multiple threads happening. You weren't sure who was commenting, who was seeing at which times. And it was just a mess. You had to keep it all straight in your head. So this is really solely focused on that remote collaboration process.
Yeah, every like all the raw after track exporting from the Pro Tools or Ableton, we are there after you export. Pibox come in to all the communications to for you not to work in your email messaging apps or like Google Drive. So we are better in this organization structure.
Gotcha. And so if you're not collaborating with if you're not a producer collaborating with an artist or an artist collaborating with another artist, say I'm just an artist, who might I want to introduce to Pibox for this type of remote interaction? What are the roles in the industry?
You mean
well, you mentioned record labels, for example. A lot of artists work on their own and deliver a finished track, but other artists might have more of a collaborative relationship with their label. What are is that pretty much it? It's like producers, artists, label A&R. Are there other roles that are, and you mentioned obviously the educational setting, we can talk about that separately, but within the music space, the industry side, are there any other roles in the industry that get involved with Pibox?
Yeah, actually it's like, managers, producer can be product managers if the company has library, so they want to optimize input. So actually we have the same with Epidemic Sound, like all the music that are sending to this library also going through us. What else? Some and our people, yeah, as you said, it's the main roles maybe, but also some people work with clients. Of course, they are sharing these tracks, for example, with client to collaborate. Yeah, so it's like we still researching different audience, and that's why we are adding new formats in Pibox that we see it's tried to spread more. For example, video, the same, they work with video production, they want to send it, and in Pibox it will be ability to switch tracks for the same video. So like it's a benefit also for creative team to give a fast feedback. So we start communicating with different departments also when we are adding more formats in the same way as the audio.
Can you actually see the video with the waveform together now, or that's coming down the road?
Yeah, it will be, I think, yeah, 1-2 months maximum for to ship this feature, and we are working already with several teams to make it properly.
So then this becomes a useful tool in kind of the sync licensing, film, TV
Yeah.
world, in addition to producing the original audio, but also how you align the audio with the video, what tracks or stems are coming in, what other effects are coming in, things like that.
Yeah, because this came naturally from audio industry, because they are working together, and they ask us maybe we can do this also because it will be closing more problems for them.
Yeah. So if someone's doing let's bring it back down to maybe the artist level. If someone's doing remote collaboration for the first time, what should they be paying attention to? And what are some things they might not realize until after they're pretty deep into it that you can sort of fast forward their learning?
They're not seeing at the first time when they're starting that they're losing a lot of time in negotiations on some tracks, or with mixing engineer maybe, or they are often checking back what version was last, or what version I liked best with this bass or drums, for example. So they are not seeing these issues, and they are just working because they have something like in their access, right? Like Dropbox or email. They just start working because they are more emotional. They start using everything that's near, like under like Skype and so on. But a lot of time they're losing or ideas in some email or fixes, or maybe they lose some version of a track they like, some sound there. So it's like even in creative process of a team which is like not a company but just a pure creator, they have a lot of small things that can impact on quality of their product. I'm not talking about the teams. Team is really high. They use a lot of time to explain because it's a lot of tracks, like a lot of people involved. They have a lot of pains, and they also need time to, of course, to approve something new to their workflow, because they think that okay, Dropbox is enough, or Google Drive or Gmail is enough, but they just need to try this new solution. This is how we try it. So it's, for startup, is always hard to explain and say that something new will save your time. Like we're
Yeah.
That's why we're making case studies with companies, and we'll also release them soon.
Right. Understand. Okay. What else have you learned about remote collaboration over the years that just because you have this window and you're thinking about how to create this product for this particular set of use cases, are there other things that kind of come to mind that are useful for our listeners to know about?
Yeah, as we said before, it can be for other formats. So as you said, for TV and like for video formats. Also, the good insights for us that is that like it's better to have like collaboration dynamic tool to work the same way as you use now, like your chats and emails. So it will not kill the product, like creativity and the like creative flow. So we also understand that tools don't need to be hard to be understandable by managers, and especially by musicians who deliver music. So it needs to be the same way as they worked before. So a lot of different insights, but the main insights are in our product. Actually, as I said, all features that we say now, like the getting deliverables, inviting easy to each project. All projects have like different folding, so you can have albums with tracks inside. All the product is actually inside. Like the product is what we discussed now. It's everything that was taken from different production teams, and we delivered and developed it inside Pibox. So we discussed what is like what can be solved and what is the insight in collaboration.
Cool. Well, let's since this Music Tectonics series is kind of in response to what's going on in the world right now, I'm curious what you're seeing with the worldwide self-isolation, work from home situation in terms of how it's impacting remote collaboration in music right now. Are you hearing from people? Are you hearing from more people? Are there different requests? How are people engaging with remote music making right now?
It's very high impact on how people move to remote. It's like 100% people moved, of course, to different tools, like as I said, basic tools, our tools, any other tools. But we now understand that internet was a long time ago, so people already have some solutions and they understand how it works. Just more people now start doing like on everyday basis, and also. Musicians have also like already some simple setups to deliver, because a lot of companies working with musicians who work from their studios. Like not everyone is going to studio, so it's like it's just how many people start using it on everyday basis. But people know that remote work will be number one, like time saver and like road to the work saver. Like you spend a lot of time driving around or just giving a feedback in studio. I need to book a time and so on. So it's like now it just become like mainstream. Like it's become it was popular for me even before it becomes mainstream. Like internet jokes that a lot of people are working remotely, but now they are just everyone moved there.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's changing the workflow from a cultural perspective because we have to do it, but it will change habits as a result. And after we're back to normal, hopefully, people will have new habits.
Yeah. They will use it actually after this all this lockout and so on. So it's a good technology to have in your hands, like all the remote tools you have now. So then use it after you will be in office. But yeah, you will be more productive then.
Are you seeing a huge growth right now as a result? Is it exponential, or is it just mildly more?
It's more, but because of we are not using like too much general marketing, we use like more like partnerships, sales, all this. So it's more like passive. But we see the more interest from our articles and from top reviews. So we are in top 10, top 7 reviews worldwide, and they are becoming reposting this, and people start coming from it. So we just need to do more marketing.
Oh, I have a PR firm you can talk to. And once you're on this Music Tectonics podcast, everything's going to explode. I'm just joking with you, Ivan. Okay. Hey, is there a mobile component? We didn't even talk about this. Is this browser based? Is it desktop? Do you have mobile? What is it?
It's browser based now, but we had application before. As I said, we started from musicians, and everyone wants mobile version. Now, when it's more team working, and we have a lot of features, like we loaded in the web version, we just need some time to update our mobile app. So it's not in the shop now, like in mobile store now. But it will be updated also, will be soon there. So now it's web version, and we're in development of updating our mobile now.
Yeah. What do you think about the kind of the lighter touch apps that are being released for quick capture of songwriting compositions and even being used for some social remote collaboration? Have you seen this new generation of apps coming out, and what do you think about them?
Yeah, I've seen them, and they're really good for like capturing, as I said, capturing ideas and creative process. I don't know for everyone, but for me, as I work in Ableton, for example, it takes more time to create the same effect, like or the same sound or instrument on the mobile app. than I can do in a minute, like on the laptop. And laptop also portable, right? So for mobile, I see like that it's like used for more like for who is professional. Maybe they use more like mic or videos to capture the melodies, ideas, and then they should move to Pro Tools or Ableton after it. So it's my experience and how I see things, but also it's good maybe for different how people teach, more maybe for teachers, for students who can try for hobby. It's good, but yeah, it's become powerful every day. So and it will be some future around it also.
What about the emergence of apps that are both musical instruments and collaboration tools? We're seeing some. We just did an episode with a company called Endless with 3 S's, where you're beat making right on the phone or mobile device, iPad, tablet, and then other people are layering another beat on top or tweaking the effects or adding other stuff. Have you seen those? And I'm curious what you think about those.
Not this one, but it's also, as I said, it's like more for good for like initial idea creation that need to be then mixed and produced if it's needed, of course, in the studio also or in home studio. But we see that tools becoming as we do becoming like making hybrids, like mixing of collaboration tools and communication, because you need to also discuss ideas. We even see some communication features in large tools, recording tools, and it will be like a next trend. And actually, we get after this remote hype, let's say what is now happening, we receive a lot of different integration requests, and even for from bigger companies to add collaboration element to their systems, which is more like offline. So it's
Right.
like it's all the time mixing together this
Yeah.
production side and communication side.
Yeah. I'll be curious how this all goes down, because in a way you've kind of identified this need of human collaboration that's really about sharing and communication, but it's not really much about production
Yeah.
within your platform. And so, for example, if somebody has one stem, they're not adding another stem in the same spot in Pibox. They're not, layering tracks together. They're doing that within their DAW or maybe some other kind of app or something like that. But these newer apps, some of them, they have that feature built in, as well as the ability for some social communication. Not at the same professional workflow level that you're doing right now, but it's always interesting to see as the hardware develops and people have access to more and more powerful tools. Some of the software side feels much lighter touch for the user. It feels a little more like a consumer app than a B2B app. And then over time, somehow those two threads have to merge. Over
Yeah.
time, either your users are going to say, hey, we're doing this other stuff in the app. Can we now have an app where we actually add the beats? And then on these other light social production collaboration apps, they might say, hey, we need more communication features. We need to be able to export this high fidelity. We need to be able to do all these other things, So it'll be interesting to see how those two things merge.
Yeah. It's the same as I have in my head.
Yeah. So are there any other tools or apps that you like in the space that you operate in? Maybe not competitors, but nice things that fit nice together with the flow, or just things that as an artist producer, you're keeping an eye on, that you're using, you're loving. Anything else you can refer us to?
Like for me is actually to say that I am as a user using, of course, I like synthesizers like Arturia, like an Alex sound, but I sold my old synthesizers as a like with when I become like family guy and IT. So like I just it was a nice story. We invested hardware, synthesizers, and gear in marketing to boost Pibox. It was a really cool story. Was working with like marketing guy who was also music producer, and he get the payments with the synthesizers. So this is why
Yeah.
I moved to like software, but they are sounding as I said. I like how in Ableton I can do it really fast, and also what other tools. So actually, yeah, it's the main. I like different synthesizers. I use this. Splice is also giving a lot of features to run some synths. Yeah, it's a lot of different things happening. I like also some music generative. It's a lot of music generative startups. I don't remember all their names, but
Yeah.
I use music generation to have some experimental chords, for example, in music. So it's a lot of changing, really.
Yeah.
It's too much to tell, Another podcast we need for it.
Yeah, yeah, you can play with another app every minute and never run out, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned Splice. Is there overlap between features between Pibox and Splice, or is there a good way to use them both?
It's maybe use both because Splice it's like Ableton to Ableton, for example, integration that you can collaborate, but it's not offering features that are like about communication, management, and discussion of this. But it can be like good to use Splice if you have like your producers that can use together Splice solution, and we are for communication can be also. But Splice, I think they are more focused now on samples, on synthesizers, this model. So they are a little bit switched from this initial collaboration integration they have before.
Hey, before we go, and this has been great, I really appreciate you taking the time to not only give us the update of what Pibox is and what you're doing, but also to put it in context. Super helpful. I like that kind of conversation so that regardless of whether somebody decides Pibox is for them, they're thinking about these bigger picture things. So I appreciate that. But before you go, since you bounce between Kiev and Ukraine and Helsinki and Finland, can you talk a little bit about what the music scenes are like there? Because a lot of our listeners are US based, but also worldwide. Might be helpful, maybe the music tech scenes in particular. Is there anything that you can tell us about the culture or vibe of those two cities or countries?
I can tell you more. Just we just start moving to Finland and Helsinki, so I know little bit about this country. I'm originally from Ukraine, Kiev, and so about Kiev. Kiev is really booming with different artists, a lot of electronic music. Some clubs are like techno guys are in top now in some beatport. So it's a lot of electronic underground music, and popular scene is really not very good. It's like more Ukrainian Russian songs, which is really simple, but experimental electronic stuff is really nice, and it's modular. Some modular synthesizers, handmade synthesizers become companies also. So it's some of these guys appears also in music tech. I don't know all this. Some social apps also there, like. Louder Me, maybe they are offering some battles for musicians online because the problem is in Ukraine it's really hard to earn on music, really hard. It's like now it's harder even because of lockout this one, but
Yeah.
it's hard because market is it's like a lot of format music that is for radio stations, like really pop music, but all the underground teams and why I'm also switched to IT more because it's impossible to earn on if you're making some more like art music, like more like or post rock or indie even or alternative music. So it's hard. So this is but that's why it's a lot of teams that appear in Ukraine that are like really tech, making their gears or making software as we or making other technology. So there's a lot of engineers here. That's why it's becoming more like geeky tech, less music, but more like this. But it's growing because we are on the 0 point. We have a lot of potential to grow.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, thanks for those insights. It's just good to connect the world up and to hear about what's going on. Ivan Talaychuk with Pibox. That's Pibox.com. Pibox.com. Thanks so much for taking the time. It's been great chatting with you, and I hope we get to meet in person sometime.
Yeah. Thank you, Dmitry. Have a good day.
Okay, be safe. And thank you for listening to Music Tectonics. Please hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting app. Come to musictectonics.com and sign up for our newsletter. We're currently doing weekly Wednesdays. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a online meetup with music tech thought leaders. It's a chance for you to do a shout out and meet other folks. We've had anywhere from 50 to 70 people join these every Wednesday. We're doing some on live streaming, remote collaboration. We'll be coming up with more topics as well. If you'd like to propose a topic or a thought leader to join us, just tweet us with hashtag Websday, WEBSDAY, and hashtag Music Tectonics. We'll keep an eye out for that. Thanks so much for listening, and stay tuned because we're bringing you more in the coming days.
You're listening to Music Tectonics.